Let's switch tracks to Nagaland now, where days after Ministry of Defence denied sanction to prosecute 30 army personnel allegedly involved in a botched counter-insurgency operation in December 2021, in which 14 young men were killed, the Indian Army has reacted for the first time on the denial of the prosecution sections, talking to reporters in Guwahati. Let's listen in to what the Army has to say.
I think when this unfortunate incident had taken place, that time only, firstly there was a court of inquiry which was conducted, and that has been finalized. And unfortunately, because of the stay order which has been passed on by the state Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, the proceedings have been stayed completely, and that's where the situation is as far as the Army inquiry is also concerned.
Ratandeep, now the Army is saying because of the stay order passed by the Supreme Court, the proceedings have been stayed completely?
Yes, in fact, this is the first reaction of Indian Army after the Ministry of Defence officially informed the Nagaland police that it is denying its request of prosecution sanctions against those 30 Indian Army Special Forces personnel who were named in the charge sheet that was filed last year. And Indian Army, in this press briefing, which was held in Guwahati, the Eastern Army Commander, Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalita, clearly saying that it was an unfortunate incident, and in fact, he went on to say that the mistakes which were committed there, those were basically analyzed, and the entire standard operating procedure of operations of Indian Army, particularly counter-insurgency operations in the Northeast, was reviewed in the past 1 year, and amendments to that existing SOP of Indian Army in terms of operating in Northeast has been implemented, and the Army is also kind of reviewing at ground zero in terms of whether those amendments which have been put in place after the December 2021 incident in Nagaland are being followed or not. And talking about the Army's own court of inquiry, remember there was a Army court of inquiry which was instituted after that incident. So the latest that the Eastern Army Commander has informed today is that the Army court of inquiry has actually finalized. But because last year, remember, the family members of those 30 personnel who were charge sheeted by the Nagaland police had moved the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court had issued a stay order in terms of further proceedings, any sort of legal proceedings in terms of this case. Therefore, the Army Court of Inquiry has also now got stalled in terms of its process, its progress, and therefore it seems that because of the Supreme Court order and because of the denial of the prosecutional sanctions by the MOD, both in Army Court of Inquiry as well as in the charge sheet that was filed against the 30 army men, it seems that further proceedings are not going to take place at least until and unless either the Supreme Court vacates its stay order or Army, the Ministry of Defence decides otherwise to grant prosecution sanction, which for now it has been not granted to the Nagaland police. The Eastern Army Commander actually also spoke on the reduction of the Armed Forces Special Power Act in parts of Northeast, and he has welcomed it, and he said that this just goes to show that the law and order situation, particularly in terms of insurgency, has improved, and therefore the Army also feels that in different areas the Armed Forces Special Power Act should be withdrawn, and the Indian Army welcomes this decision of Centre to gradually reduce areas under Armed Forces Special Power Act in the Northeast.